Welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power on the Nashville Network. Today we present the best in NTPA pulling. Hi everybody, I'm Gary Lee at the famed Brickyard, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And when it turns cold in Indiana, they literally shut down Gasoline Alley and the racers go where it's warm, out west or down south. But you can still hear the sound of horsepower indoors as we take you inside the Indiana State Fairgrounds Coliseum for the most popular pulling class, the two-wheel drive. And here with more on that's my buddy, Army Armstrong.
Well, Gary, it's obvious I got the luck of the draw. At least I'm indoors. I'm a little bit warmer than you are. But before the afternoon's over, you and I both are going to be hot because we're going to be watching the super modified two-wheel drive category. A class where kind of like a rhinoceros on roller skates. You say, how's that? Well, it's very simple. Brute horsepower and weight are the name of the games in this sport we're going to be watching today. The sleds are going to be pulling about 35,000 pounds. The vehicle that's pulling it weighs 6,200 pounds, and there's another set of numbers involved here. That's the horsepower of the engine, 1,500 to 2,000 pounds of horsepower. How do you weight the vehicle to pull that 30,000 pounds of weight? We're going to be finding that out this afternoon. Stay tuned. Two-wheel drive pulling action coming your way.
Brought to you here in Indianapolis, the Copenhagen Skull Pulling Circuit. We are here for the Indy Super Pull. Army Armstrong, this is the two-wheel drive class, the 6,200 pound. A full pull represents 230 feet. The sled weight, 45,000 pounds. Now, Pat Friles is the first to pull here this evening, but Pat has already made a test pull, and they found they had to add weight to the sled.
Well, that's good and that's bad. The test puller, and that's determined solely by the luck of the draw, pulls the sled. He makes a determination with the tractor as to whether or not it's right or wrong. Well, they decided it was too light. They tightened the sled up again. And this kid who's been in this sport for many years out of Island, Kentucky, Pat Friles, he laid all the cards on the table. He said we need to add more weight to pull these guys down. So he could have dropped to the bottom of the field or come straight back and pull. He picked up the option to do that. So we should be official right now with the Island, Kentucky native.
The Cheers Ford. It's a bucket T, modified obviously for two-wheel pulling competition. Not quite what Pat would want, certainly, a real veteran in this sport. 205.8. So Pat says add some weight after the test pull, and he can't be too happy with that. But here is our sled cam. I like some of the shots that get from this camera.
The sled cam gives you a different perspective. You'll notice he's going straight. Now, when he starts to make horsepower, the front end will pull up, and basically the steering wheel is useless at this point.
Now, see the front end up in the air. He's steering with the brakes. Pat Friles, synonymous with this sport. He's down there with Army.
Pat, a 205.8, not bad. Were you looking for anything better than that?
Army, as you know, we made the test run. They did tighten the sled up on us. It was a good run for the truck. I would have really liked to have dropped that run and come back, but the truck is very, very hot. I didn't drop 6 like we had our option. The West Express truck and special, she's hot. I mean, we're running hard. We wanted to make one bonsai shot, but we didn't make that because of the sled. They had to reset it. Those guys know what they're doing. They had to reset it. There's been too many at the end.
Well, basically, it's fair for everybody as we take a look at one pretty wig, the Miller High Life Special. This is Gary Celine. He's driving a Ford-powered entry. He comes out of Farley, Iowa.
You know, I was just noticing that Pat Friles has been a national champion. He was our first puller in the tractor division. Gary Celine has been a player in this sport for years in the four-wheel drive division, but they're both filtering down to this awesome, popular two-wheel drive competition.
Once again, we ride now on the sled. I like this creation. That's a pretty race car.
Again, everybody's drifting to the left. If nothing else, it's going to show you the direction of the track. Friles drifted to the left. Celine drifted to the left. Now, we'll take a ride with people in the future, maybe, and find out how they compensate for that.
Well, Celine right now is the man to beat at 2:11.10, so he's on top of the heap. 2:11.10 as we look again coming right at you. Now, once again, as you indicated, they're pulling off to the driver's left. Is this a characteristic of the racetrack? Well, obviously, those that are down in the pulling line will have a chance to make adjustments to their vehicle, redistribute the weight. Let's talk to our driver.
Gary, I find it interesting as you go into the lead here, you seem to do it naturally. The time that you spent in another class before you came over to this class, does that help you drive this vehicle?
Well, I'm sure just the experience going down the track has a lot to do with it. Mainly, I hope I can keep my calm my nerves and keep going straight as possible. And I'm sure it has some effect on how we do.
Coming up next, we have the Wicked Willie. This is a name that is very familiar to the folks just south of Indianapolis from Shelbyville, Indiana. This is Doug Theobald. Now, what relation is he to the former mayor Dan Theobald down there? I wonder.
I don't know, but you're still going to have to pay the traffic ticket. And Doug's a student at Purdue, as a matter of fact. Yeah, he's taking this weekend off from his studies to come and compete with these guys on the Copenhagen Skull Pulling Circuit. It's an honor to be here. He's battling with the big boys. Let's see what's going to happen.
Wicked Willie has the front end way up in the air. He may want some more weight on that front if he could have that run over again. 2:03.5, but once again, it's a learning experience.
Yeah, the horsepower was there. The onboard camera is going to show us again. Let's see what the reaction is to the vehicle once the front end comes up. Will he drift to the left like everybody else, or has he figured out a way to make it go straight? Front end's up. Going to the right.
He's going off to the right.
So he's
it's tough to read that track this season. Exactly. Doug Theobald out of Shelbyville, Indiana, and certainly not the type of run that he would like to have. Oh, look at this. This is the family affair. This is Deb Hackworth out of Columbia City, Indiana. Lady in pink.
Yeah, she's teamed up with the Kelly Chevrolet people, and believe me, she may be a small package, but she is a big player in the two-wheel drive class. And again, their family, the family aspect gets involved here.
She has a pink racing jacket on. The Chevrolet they call the family affair. Once again, the front end up in the air, and she starts to drift to the right. Leslie shakes her fist with some approval. And the distance, 200 feet. Once again, a full pull here at the State Fairgrounds Coliseum would be 230.
I just thought of something. Lady driver, the pink truck. Somebody from Mary Kay needs to contact these people. There's your marketing tool right there.
There's the Mary Kay special right there.
Look at this. She's a player. 200 feet against this competition is something to be proud of.
Let's put Mary Kay and Deb together and see if we can't work out a sponsorship there.
She's definitely representing well. Who we have coming up now, Gary?
Jeff Hope coming up next in Flashback. He's out of Pennsylvania. Another Chevy pickup truck.
What we're looking at right here is the safety chain and the safety kill switch. The red cable actually goes to a kill switch, Gary. And should that chain break, it'll automatically, instantly shut the vehicle off. You know, NTPA people are very aware of the safety as any kind of motorsport, and they're trying to stay right on top of it. Flashback. Chevrolet, let's see what he can do. Boy, that weight box is coming up quick.
And it stops him pretty quick, too. That really increases the weight on the front of that sled. 189.11 is the distance for Jeff Hope.
Everybody's lining up in the middle. Nobody's doing anything radical right now. They're just trying to figure the track out. And you got to remember, in this sport, you only have one shot. They've driven from all over the country. They've raced all year long to qualify to be here. They got one shot that'll last around 15 seconds.
Not like oval track racing with practice sessions. They go out and qualify and then run heat races. You get one pass. And right now, Gary Celine is on top at 2:11.10. Then Pat Friles is second with the Cheers truck. And then Doug Theobald comes in third. Well, there's the crowd at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. More coming up. Stay with us. Strong back at the Indiana State Fairgrounds Coliseum in Indianapolis for two-wheel drive competition, part of the Indy Super Bowl. And coming up next is Dave Deppy and the Bad Badger.
When Dave rolls out, you're talking some cubic inches. This guy runs a motor, Gary, I'll guarantee you, it's the size of Oklahoma. He won't tell you how big it is. It has a sound that is just awesome. The motor sits right on the nose, the driver right behind him. He will rock and roll you here.
Is that what you call a mountain motor?
That's a mountain range. That thing's bigger than a motor.
Pretty good run, but not going to be good enough. Falls short by a couple of inches at 209.6. One of the more unusual creations. We haven't seen the van configuration on the circuit for a while.
This particular setup, the horsepower is there we're talking about, but the weight right there, it comes up on him. See, when the front end comes up, it not only affects your steering, but it also lowers the angle that you're pulling the sled. That'll rob you of horsepower. That's exactly what happened. In the sport, they call it missing the weight.
Hey, Army, how about a game of Simon Says?
You know, one thing that's interesting here with the Simon Says truck, Dodge is a player. Roger Simon out of Iowa comes out with an all-Dodge vehicle. So all the Mopar people out there, if you follow this sport, you've got something to cheer for. And this guy, believe me, can be a player. You notice the hands up? We talked about that earlier. That's an indication that while they're hooking the vehicle up, they will not move until told to do so. He's watching the flagman. He'll pull the vehicle out. He'll drop his hands now. But again, you keep going back to the safety end of this sport.
Obviously, there's an advantage to being down the pulling line because you can watch the track, you can watch the other pullers. Then it becomes a guessing game. Where do I put the weight and how much weight do I use? Good run for Simon Says. A good run for Roger, and he takes the lead now at 2:15.3. 2:15.3, that's the best pull this evening.
Like you say, again, the hands go out. He will not move until told to do so. What you just said is correct if the track stays the same. If you're down in the field and the track goes away, it's a whole different ballgame. But like any kind of motorsport, they're constantly trying to read the track.
But it all works out in the end over the course of the entire season. Luck being up in front, being at the back, it seems to even out and balance out. Well, a good run, a good pull for Roger Simon and Simon Says as we look now at LD Nation in Sundowner. He is driving a 23 Ford. Let's go back trackside right now and visit with Roger Simon.
Roger, 2:15.03, and you were flat, leaving the line like a rocket.
Yeah, we did some changes from this afternoon. We put a different rear end in, and I think we did it the right thing, but I think we should have been a gear higher. It might hold off, but it might not.
All right, the Sundowner coming up next. LD Nation out of Kansas.
Hey, Gary, this guy plays hardball. He's canned heat, waiting to go after this Dodge. You can't put it any different than that. And I guarantee you, Simon has got to be sweating BBs right now because LD's got a guy you do not want to get in a slapping contest with. He'll get you.
That's right there, Arias Power. That, of course, is a 23 Ford, and he is going to take it out the end, is he? No, he's going to fall short, but he could take the lead as we look at the reaction from Simon. Yes, there is your new leader, 2:19.8. And Simon is dejected. His evening is over, and he has to go back to the hauler and load her up. As we take a look at LD Nation, the new leader at 2:19.8, and here's a shot from the sled cam. In any motorsport, there are drivers that seem to get on a roll, and everything falls into place. In the past couple of seasons, that has been exactly what has happened for LD Nation. In fact, this evening, he has 2 entries in his class, so we will see him again. But right now, let's go trackside for a visit.
LD, you came a long way to run against these guys, and you're showing you can run with the best of them. You're the man to beat now.
Yeah, well, I made a good run there. The track's in good condition, and we had our weight just right. Everything worked good. I made a good run.
As we take a look now at Don Faust, he is trying to stage his brother-in-law. He is actually the crew chief on Floyd's toy number 2. This is Floyd Hilton out of Royal Center, Indiana. And Floyd is one of 2 competitors here with 2 vehicles in this class this evening. This will be the first of 2. The distance to beat 2:19.8.
Floyd has been around this sport a long time. He's got a following, and he loves the color purple. Everything that guy owns is purple. Uh-oh, it's hooking on him, Gary.
He's pulling off to the right, and he will fall well short, so we will see him again a bit later. 197.3, and whatever he learns from this run, he can take back to his other vehicle. But right now, the current standings, LD Nation on top in Sundowner. Roger Simon is second, and Simon Says, and Gary Celine is third in the Miller High Life Special. And there's a look at Floyd Hilton. He walks back to the paddock area to get ready for another pass. We talked about these guys only having 1 shot. Well, we stand corrected because if they enter 2 vehicles, they can come back and make the second pass. So LD Nation and Floyd Hilton both will have second passes with a second vehicle in 2-wheel drive competition from the Indiana State Fairgrounds. The kids love the action, so do we. We're coming right back. Stay with us. Coliseum, Indianapolis, Indiana, and this place is certainly rocking this evening with competition in the 2-wheel drive class. Here is the Pack Rat number 3, another purple entry. This is Doug Christensen. And of course, the distance to beat turned in earlier by LD Nation, 2:19.8. Once again, making sure the belts are tight, checking the gauges as he has been staged. And there is the green flag.
Well, you notice the NTPA people provide you with 2 officials that stay on the track with the vehicle. In motorsports, they're the most hands-on people for safety. You've got a flagman right on the starting line, and the last thing on the end of the track, you'll see him come into camera view here now. There'll be another flagman telling the young man what to do.
And the purple funny car entry falls short at 2:01.9. One thing nice about this division, there is so much variety in body style.
Oh, sure. The basic rule is a weight set, and the drive's got to go through the rear wheels. Other than that, it's run what you brung, yeah.
Once again, a short pull at 201.9 for Doug Christensen in Pack Rat 3. Oh, look at this wild thing.
Okay, it's purple, so who has to be driving
It must be Floyd Hilton, once again from Royal Center, Indiana. This is Floyd's toy. Now, we saw Floyd earlier in Floyd's toy 2 at 197.3. Let's see what he can do now.
You can listen to the motor until he's running a lot of drive in the blower, really winging this engine now.
Recognize that body style at the 69 Porsche.
No, I don't recognize it. I can't afford one of those.
That's what Floyd says. Stretched out just a bit. 206.11, so not a whole lot better than his first pass, which was in Floyd's Toy 2. We take a look now at Craig Huff in Huffin 3. Let's go back trackside to Army Armstrong.
Floyd, you go 206.11. That puts you in the top 5. That's not a bad shot with this type of competition.
No, I had a good run, but right there at the last, I seen the white line coming up through the floorboard, and I had to hit the brake. If I wouldn't have had to hit the brake, I think I could have got her on out, maybe. I had a good run. Thank you.
We look in the cockpit now. The visor comes down. This is Craig Huff out of West Alexandria, Ohio, and Huffin 3.
Every sport has a guy like this. Sprint cars, outlaw racing, what have you. He lives for the sport. He's like a Harley rider. He lives to ride and rides to live. He's a welder by trade. He'll work anywhere in the country just so he can make the dollars and cents go pulling the Huffin 3 truck.
Well, a big wheel stand mid-track, and that will not be a real good run. Only 204. So he had a lot of air under the front end. Poor weight distribution, but that will be it for Huffin 3. Craig Huff, let's take a look again from the sled cam. Now watch the front end elevate.
Yes, he has a cylinder going away right now on the right side of the engine. See the white coming out? That's a dead cylinder. So the front end comes up. He's lost the cylinder. Hooks to the left. Just wasn't to be a good run for him.
How many times in motorsports can a participant say, the guy to beat is me? And that's exactly what we have right now. Here is LD Nation, and once again, he has the run to beat. Earlier in competition, he went 2:19.8. Now he's back in the T-bucket, and he is the guy to beat, so he can finish. He could finish 1-2 here.
I was going to say, how many times in motorsport have you been able to say, I finished first and second? Of course, I used to drag race, so the worst I ever finished was second.
Well, if you had a bye run, if you had a bye run, you could finish 1-2, couldn't you? Well, let's see what LD Nation can do now in the T-bucket. Oh, he has some speed. Whoa, look at this. Is he going to take it out? Oh, so close. Well, he wins it. Was it a full pull? Let's wait. 230 is a full pull. Oh, look at that. He missed it by inches. 229.3. Let's watch again. There is your winner indeed. LD Nation wins first and second.
Gary, it's like when he left the starting line, you could tell the ground speed, everything was there for that perfect run.
I've been doing broadcasting and motorsports for 20 years. The first time I've ever seen a guy win first and second. Here he is with Army.
Well, Gary, we're standing with a man right now that's proof of the pudding of the old saying, you got to plan your work and work your plan. LD, you guys completely dominated the competition here with some vehicles that were built specifically for this class.
Yeah, we've been having some good luck. In 1989, we built delivery van and come out, and it worked real good for us. We won the championship in 89, but we knew there were some changes that we needed to make, so in 1990, we built that white rig and come out, and it worked real good for us. We won it that year. And then last year, we built that blue one and made some more changes that we thought we could do to improve it. And it's just unbelievable. All you do is just get in there and back up to the sled. It does the rest for you. It's unbelievable how it works for me.
Well, Gary, it's kind of interesting because I know one thing. The rest of the guys, they don't want him ever building a new truck.
Well, Army, it may be a cliche, but tonight LD took all the marbles. He takes first and second. His winning pull, 229.3 in the T-bucket. Second also at 219.8. And Roger Simon and Simon Says rounding out the top three. Our congratulations to LD Nation. For Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. That wraps it up from the Indiana State Fairgrounds Coliseum. Join us next week on another edition of Trucks and Tractor Power. Now, here's news of an exciting home video release from Diamond P Sports.